Hey Broncos fans, welcome to Broncos News Now, your channel for everything Denver Broncos. Before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any hot NFL news. Nick Bonitto's dominance on the field this season has been impossible to ignore, and his latest performance against the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 14 only cements his status as one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. In a thrilling 24-17 victory that kept the Denver Broncos atop the AFC standings, Bonitto delivered a performance that reminded fans and analysts alike why he is becoming a household name in Denver. With two crucial sacks against a division rival, Bonitto not only disrupted the Raiders' rhythm, but also showcased the kind of high-impact play that makes quarterbacks sweat from the first snap. This win wasn't just another notch in the Broncos' impressive season. It was a statement that Denver's defensive line is a force to be reckoned with, and that Bonitto is leading the charge with a level of intensity reminiscent of the franchise's past legends. His efforts are helping position the Broncos for the coveted first-round bye in the playoffs, a goal that now feels within reach thanks to a combination of strategic coaching and elite individual performances. As impressive as the team's success has been, all eyes inevitably turn to Bonitto's pursuit of a record that has stood for more than a decade. Von Miller, the Broncos' all-time sack leader for a single season with 18.5 sacks in 2012, set a benchmark that has challenged every edge rusher to follow in his footsteps. With 12.5 sacks so far this season, Bonitto sits just 6 shy of tying Miller's legendary total. The Broncos' star pass rusher has made no secret of his ambition, openly discussing his desire to chase history. In his own words, the record is within range, but it's going to be tough, highlighting both his confidence and the challenge that lies ahead. Bonitto knows the final stretch of the season will demand his absolute best, and he seems more than willing to rise to the occasion. For fans, this pursuit adds a layer of excitement to every snap, as each sack brings him one step closer to potentially rewriting the franchise record books and cementing his place in Broncos history. Looking ahead, Bonitto's path to history is both challenging and promising. The Broncos' remaining schedule includes matchups against the Green Bay Packers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs, and Los Angeles Chargers, in that order. Each game presents its own set of challenges, with the Packers standing out as a formidable obstacle. They allow just 1.4 sacks per game, the second-best mark in the NFL, making them a true test for Bonitto's pass-rushing skills. However, the Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers offer more favorable conditions, with each team ranking lower in sacks allowed per game. This creates a realistic opportunity for Bonitto to not only reach, but potentially surpass Von Miller's record if he can capitalize on these matchups and maintain the level of play he has demonstrated all season. The strategic planning of the Broncos' defensive coaching staff, combined with Bonitto's individual talent and determination, could turn these final 4 games into a historic run for the team and for Bonitto personally. Bonitto's growth this season is also tied to his confidence and stability off the field. After signing a contract extension during the offseason, he has embraced his role as a leader on the Broncos' defensive front. This security has allowed him to focus entirely on performance, and the results are evident in his numbers. Beyond his 12.5 sacks, he has amassed 12 tackles for loss, 39 total tackles, and 24 quarterback hits, all indicators of a player operating at the peak of his abilities. Additionally, advanced metrics such as ESPN's pass rush win rate paint a picture of Bonitto's dominance, placing him third in the league with a 23% win rate on pass rush reps. This means that nearly a quarter of the time he engages with an offensive lineman, he comes out victorious, a statistic that underscores his consistency, technique, and relentless pursuit of the quarterback. These metrics, coupled with his visible energy and determination on the field, suggest that Bonitto is not only chasing a record, but redefining what it means to be an elite edge rusher in today's NFL. What makes Bonitto's campaign even more compelling is the comparison to his previous seasons. In 2024, he had a remarkable campaign that set the stage for his current dominance. But this year, he is outperforming even those career highs. With just 1 sack less than his total from the previous season, Bonitto has shown growth not only in quantity, but in overall impact. His ability to disrupt plays, force pressure, and create opportunities for his teammates is reaching new heights. Fans and analysts have noticed that every game feels like a masterclass in pass rushing, with Benito combining speed, agility, and intelligence to exploit offensive schemes. This combination of skill and instinct is what separates good players from great ones. And Benito is proving that he belongs in the conversation with the all-time Broncos greats, including the very player whose record he is chasing. The context of Denver's success this season cannot be overstated. With a top-ranked defense and a team that has shown resilience in tight contests, Benito's efforts are amplified by the collective performance of the unit. The synergy between the defensive line, linebackers, and secondary has created opportunities for him to shine, yet it is his individual brilliance that turns those opportunities into tangible results. The sacks against the Raiders are a prime example, but it is the consistency across the season that has truly set him apart. Game by game, play by play, Benito has shown an understanding of timing, angles, and technique that is rare even among elite pass rushers. This knowledge, combined with his physical gifts, makes him a constant threat and a player that opposing quarterbacks must plan around, altering game plans and strategies simply to account for his presence on the field. Beyond the numbers and accolades, there is an intangible element to Benito's rise. His confidence, energy, and visible passion on game days have inspired teammates and fans alike. Each sack, each tackle for loss, and each quarterback hit carries with it a sense of purpose and intensity that elevates the entire team. The chase for Von Miller's record has become more than a personal goal. It is a narrative that captures the imagination of Broncos fans and NFL observers. Every fan watching sees the potential for history to be made, and every snap carries the weight of that possibility. The stakes are high, the pressure is real, but Benito has demonstrated that he thrives in these moments, turning ambition into action and potential into performance. As the season heads into its final 4 games, the storylines are clear. Denver is positioned for playoff success. Benito is chasing a record that has stood for over a decade, and the Broncos' defense continues to dominate across all facets. The challenges ahead are significant, but the opportunities are equally compelling. The mix of elite competition, strategic matchups, and Benito's own skill set creates a scenario where history is not only possible, but plausible. The eyes of the NFL are watching as a young pass rusher dares to chase one of the franchise's most hallowed records, and with each game, the anticipation builds. Denver fans have reason to be excited, not just for the playoffs, but for witnessing a potential chapter of NFL history unfold in real time, led by a player whose season has already defined him as one of the league's premier talents. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk Broncos. And don't forget to hit the bell to get all the latest NFL updates. The NFL world has been buzzing, and the chatter has reached a fever pitch as rumors swirl around one of the most explosive defensive talents in the league, Patrick Surtain II. Sources close to multiple teams are whispering that the young cornerback has reached a boiling point, and what happened recently has sent shockwaves not just through his own locker room, but across the league. Fans are speculating, analysts are dissecting every angle, and insiders hint that the situation has gone far beyond the typical highs and lows of a football season. What's being described is not just a disagreement or a tense moment in the locker room. No, this appears to be something far more intense, something that has left teammates, coaches, and staff stunned, confused, and in some cases frustrated to the point of disbelief. The whispers are clear. Nobody in the Browns' locker room accepted what Patrick did. And when those words get thrown around in professional football circles, it signals a seismic event, one that has the potential to redefine relationships, careers, and even team dynamics. Patrick Surtain II has never been shy about his intensity or his high standards, but insiders are suggesting that recent events have pushed him past what anyone expected. There are murmurings about an incident during a practice or team meeting. Details remain murky, but the gravity of the reaction suggests it was not minor. The term explosion is being used liberally, and while that might sound hyperbolic to the casual observer, those within the inner circles describe it as a moment that shook the room to its foundation. For a team like the Browns, a franchise already under the microscope, these kinds of internal crises are particularly delicate. Teammates reportedly struggled to process what happened, and some are said to have been vocal in their disappointment. When someone of Surtain's caliber clashes so dramatically with team norms, it inevitably sets off a chain reaction. Conversations that would normally be private are now bubbling to the surface, and social media is alive with speculation, theories, and, naturally, a healthy dose of exaggeration. Fans, hungry for drama and insight, are devouring every snippet, every cryptic post, every offhand comment from insiders, trying to piece together the narrative themselves. From what we can piece together, the tension centers not on a single play or a moment on the field, but on expectations, leadership, and personal standards. Surtain is renowned for his meticulous preparation, his near-obsessive commitment to excellence, and his refusal to accept mediocrity. It appears that those traits, normally celebrated, have collided with a culture that may not have been ready for such intensity in a single individual. Teammates reportedly felt blindsided by the severity of his actions, which some insiders characterize as a public display of frustration or a confrontation that went far beyond private disagreements. Coaches are said to be scrambling to contain the fallout, balancing the need to maintain authority with the urgent necessity of keeping the locker room unified. Analysts are already weighing in, some praising Surtain's passion and dedication, others questioning whether such behavior can be reconciled with team cohesion. In a league where mental toughness and emotional intelligence are as crucial as raw talent, the lines between leadership and disruption can blur quickly. And in this case, the line may have been crossed. The ripple effects of this incident are being felt in subtle, almost invisible ways. Locker room dynamics, always delicate in professional sports, are reportedly tense. Sources suggest that certain players are keeping their distance, unsure whether to support Surtain, confront him, or simply avoid becoming embroiled in the drama. Conversations in the cafeteria, the film room, and even in team meetings reportedly carry a new edge. Coaches are said to be walking a fine line, attempting to reassure some while subtly warning others that the situation cannot be allowed to fester. The tension has even reached the front office, with executives reportedly questioning how to handle a player of Surtain's caliber when his behavior, no matter how well-intentioned, risks alienating key teammates. And, of course, the fans are watching every development with rapt attention. Every cryptic Instagram post, every non-committal comment in interviews, every hint dropped by insiders online fuels the fire. Speculation ranges wildly. Some believe Surtain may be expressing frustrations about play calling. Others suggest it could involve personal disagreements with coaches, while a few hint at something more complex, a combination of high expectations and perceived underperformance that boiled over in the worst possible way. What makes this story particularly captivating is the contrast between Surtain's unquestionable talent and the perceived volatility of the situation. On one hand, he is a cornerback whose skills have drawn comparisons to the very best in the league. On the other hand, insiders suggest that his temperament in this instance has left everyone questioning how such raw talent can coexist with team harmony. The drama, the whispers, the behind-the-scenes murmurs all point to a classic tension in professional sports, the conflict between individual brilliance and collective unity. In football, more than any other sport, the balance between personal achievement and team success is delicate. Too often, the scales tip in one direction, leaving a locker room fractured, morale weakened, and media speculation running wild. With Surtain, the rumor mill is running at full speed, fueled by the simple fact that no one seems able or willing to fully articulate what happened, leaving only the explosion itself, the reactions, and the unanswered questions to dominate conversations. Even among seasoned insiders, there is a sense of disbelief. People who have seen locker rooms erupt in frustration before, who have witnessed countless altercations and heated debates, describe this as extraordinary. The term unacceptable is being thrown around with unusual frequency, a signal that this is not merely a momentary flare-up. Observers are speculating about the possible long-term consequences. Could this incident affect Surtain's role in critical games? Might it influence trade considerations or contract negotiations? Will the coaching staff need to intervene more aggressively? Or can the team find a way to channel his intensity into positive energy? The questions are as pressing as they are difficult to answer, and the fact that the Browns' locker room appears to be grappling with more than just the typical season pressures only amplifies the intrigue. For now, everyone is left in a state of heightened curiosity, watching and waiting, knowing that any public statement, however carefully crafted, will only add fuel to the fire. Social media adds another layer to the drama. Clips of games, practice highlights, and even offhand comments are being dissected frame by frame. Fans speculate on body language, posture, and even tone of voice, searching for clues as to what might have sparked the outburst. Memes, threads, and videos proliferate at an astonishing rate, each interpretation more elaborate than the last. The narrative grows in complexity every hour, as if the story itself has taken on a life of its own. Meanwhile, insiders maintain a careful balance, dropping hints while withholding full context, creating an atmosphere that is both tantalizing and frustrating. The rumor mill is relentless, fueled by curiosity, concern, and a healthy dose of schadenfreude from those who love watching locker room intrigue unfold. In the middle of it all stands Patrick Surtain II, the epicenter of this storm, whose reputation as a fierce competitor is now intertwined with whispers of discord, drama, and controversy. What remains clear, however, is that this story is far from over. The Browns, a team already accustomed to the pressures of media scrutiny and fan expectations, now face an internal challenge that could shape the trajectory of their season. Patrick Surtain II, for his part, remains a figure of fascination, admired for his talent, feared for his intensity, and scrutinized for his choices. The combination of exceptional skill and the perception of volatility creates a narrative that is irresistible to insiders, analysts, and fans alike. Every practice, every team meeting, every subtle interaction is now potentially loaded with significance. And while the exact details of the incident remain clouded, the impact is unmistakable. Relationships are being tested, leadership is being questioned, and the entire franchise is navigating a moment of high drama. In a sport where cohesion is often the difference between success and failure, the ripple effects of a single explosive moment can echo far longer than anyone anticipates. As speculation continues, the story of Patrick Surtain II and the Browns is likely to remain a dominant topic of conversation for weeks, perhaps even months. Analysts will break down every statement, every movement, and every rumor with surgical precision. Fans will continue to theorize, debate, and project their own interpretations onto every development. And the Browns, meanwhile, must contend with the delicate task of managing not just a world-class talent, but also the locker room morale and organizational culture that can make or break a season. One thing is certain. In the world of professional football, where emotions run high and stakes are enormous, incidents like this rarely fade quietly into the background. Patrick Surtain II's explosion has not just rattled the Browns. It has captured the attention of the entire league, setting off a cascade of speculation, intrigue, and anticipation that shows no signs of slowing down. The story continues to unfold, with every passing hour adding new layers to an already complex narrative, leaving everyone, from teammates to fans to pundits, on edge, waiting to see what comes next and whether the fallout will redefine not only Surtain's season, but the very culture of the team around it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, give us a like and share with other Broncos fans. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Broncos News now to stay on top of all the NFL news and analysis.